Why would Les Miles go to Arkansas? It's fake flirting is what it is. It's just fake flirting. Hey, how you doing? I don't know. What do you think? I could use a pay raise here, Okay, let's act like I talked to you about a contract. Okay. It's just not fair to Arkansas fans, certainly not fair to LSU. But Les Miles, just the latest to do it. He's Troy Aikman. He joins us now. Hi, T. Roy. How are you?
I'm good. You're not on my man Les, are you?
No. Well, I just don't like when they talk to other schools. I know they have buyouts, but you're either married to a school or you're not. You can't be flirting while you're married to another school.
Hey, it happens, though.
I know, but it shouldn't.
I know. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm fired up here.
I can tell.
All right, here's a poll question. If you won the Powerball, $500 million, but I said you'd never be able to watch sports again, would you sign up for that?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I would. Would you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I buy an island. I bring in the swimsuit models.
You've been giving this some thought, haven't you?
Yeah. You want to think it over a little bit, Troy?
Yeah, let me get back to you at the end of the segment here.
How good do you want your backup quarterback to be if you're the starting quarterback?
You know what? I never cared who the backup was. I mean, all I really wanted was a guy that I could get along with in the meeting room. And I'll be honest with you, I had great backups during my time in Dallas, and had a lot of fun in those quarterback rooms. But people would often ask me that. People in the media would say when we brought in a pretty talented guy, hey, how happy are you that they brought in so-and-so? And hey, if I'm not playing, I don't really care who was. But for the good of the team, I do think that those teams, especially that are playoff contenders or they believe themselves to be going into the season, I think they owe it to the other guys in that locker room to have a good enough quarterback that if you lose your starter, you can still win games.
Well, that's why I said the Niners, it's not a quarterback controversy. I mean, this is a luxury that you have somebody who you're not sure if, you're going to put him in. Is he better than the guy you had before who has played at a pretty high level?
Yeah, I don't disagree whatsoever with what Jim Harbaugh has done, and I don't know where really what the temperature is on that decision, but Colin Kaepernick has come in. He's played well. I go back to this summer, the courtship of Peyton Manning. Clearly, had Peyton have wanted to be a 49er, he would be. That tells you there was things about Alex Smith. Of course, you get a chance to get Peyton Manning. I mean, that's one thing. But then when Colin played so well against Chicago, now you say, okay, there's things about Alex's game that they really want improved, and that is that Colin Kaepernick gives them the ability to get the ball down the field and big play ability. They're great defensively. They run the ball well. They just need to take a little bit of pressure off of those parts of their game and have more big plays. I mean, they could dominate some games with more big plays. But what I didn't like was that if I'm Alex Smith, is that he was asked to go along all week with the fact that, I don't know who the starter is, and I guess we're going to wait till Saturday. We talked to him on Friday or Saturday, and he was still going along with the company line, that he would not tell us whether he was going to be the starter or not. And you can't tell me that he didn't know at that time that he was not going to be the starter. And what I would have done, I think, is I would have said to Jim Harbaugh, and I had this conversation with Jimmy Johnson at one time when I was playing, that, hey, look, if you want to go with Colin Kaepernick, great. I'm not happy about it. I think I should be the starter. I'm not going to cause a stink. I'm a team guy. I've proven that over the years. But, look, don't ask me to go along with this all week. Just come out and make a decision, And that's the part of it that I didn't think was right.
I agree that Harbaugh made it a little bit more convoluted. And Dante Whitner told Mike Florio on this show on Friday that Kaepernick was the starting quarterback. Meanwhile, here's Alex Smith on Saturday going, I really don't know who's the starting quarterback.
Well, everyone else knew. Dante Whitner's talking about it on radio shows. In fact, Vernon Davis came out and said that he was consulted. He and some other players within the locker room were consulted by Jim Harbaugh as to what they thought about the situation. Now, it's one thing if you want to make a change, and like I said, the safe and easy decision for Jim to make that would have created the least amount of scrutiny on him would be to go with Alex Smith. And so I've always applauded the coach who does what he thinks is in the best interest of his football team in getting better. You remember a couple of years ago when Bill Belichick went for it on fourth down against Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts, and he didn't make it. He was on his own end of the field, and he got just murdered from that decision. I thought I applauded him for making the decision because I said, you know what, this guy's making a call that he believes gives his team the best chance to win, and not worried about what the consequences are. And so few guys do that. That most of these coaches are heavily influenced by what the criticism is going to be or what's going to be said about the decision after the fact.
He's Troy Aikman, NFL on Fox. He's got the Packers and the Vikings coming up Sunday at 1 Eastern with Joe Buck. You had Aaron Rodgers apologizing to the Packer fans for the performance against the Giants. Did you ever apologize to Cowboy fans?
I don't recall apologizing. Maybe I did. I don't know that. I certainly understand, why he did it, and frustrated and disappointed with their play. I'm not sure Aaron Rodgers or the Packers have to apologize for anything just yet. They have overcome so much, and with the injuries that they've had, and they've played so well in the past that I didn't think it was necessary. But I like the fact that he realizes, he knows where his bread's buttered, and just says, "Hey, I'll reach out to the fans and make sure they understand that we appreciate the support they give us."
I was listening to Steve Young last night on the Mothership, and he talked about you got to have a great offensive line. That's where it has to start. Because if you have a great offensive line, you can always get a running back. You can do other things. But I'm looking at these teams that have great offensive lines. Is there a parallel between the offensive line and success, or vice versa?
Yeah, I think there is. The best offensive line that I've seen probably in the last 15 years is the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, they're phenomenal. They remind me a lot of the offensive lines that I played behind. Of course, 3 of those guys are first-round picks, and that's a huge difference. And, most teams don't invest those kinds of picks, in that position. I think most of these teams, they get caught up with the skill players, certainly the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, the running backs, the great pass rusher. And it's hard, I don't want to say hard to sell, but fans don't really get excited about a top first-round offensive lineman in April, when the draft is made. But I think there is definitely a correlation between the teams that are having success and their offensive lines. And, it's just something that when you look around the league, there's a lot of bad offensive line play, and a lot of it has to do with the injuries. I mean, there's just a lot of different situations where guys just have not been able to stay healthy.
The Cowboys situation, now you got the Eagles on Sunday night, our game on NBC. What's at stake?
You're happy about that one.
Oh, well, yeah. You try to dress that one up a little bit here. But
what happened to the flex? I thought that's what NBC was all about.
I don't know. I don't know if we can flex yet. We're trying.
Get some answers this weekend. Huh?
We'll take the Packers and the Vikings from you if we can. What's at stake for the Cowboys here on out?
Well, this is a game that not only should the Cowboys, win, to me, they've got to be able to dominate this game. I mean, it's an Eagles team, obviously, that's in disarray. They've lost however many in a row now, and, they've got a number of big players that are out. Michael Vick, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, they just released their best pass rusher, and now Dallas is banged up as well, but at home in a game where they've had 10 days rest. The Eagles played on Monday night. I just think that if Dallas goes out and wins the game, but they win like they did against Cleveland 2 weeks ago, I mean, I don't think anybody feels good about that. But Dallas has a chance to get into it. But, the thing is, Dan, is you keep losing and you keep waking up on Monday and you say, hey, we're still in the playoff picture. But you know what? At some point you got to win a game. I mean, you can't just keep losing games and say we're still in it. And the confidence level right now in Dallas is not real high, and nor should it be. But this is a game that if they come out and play like they're capable of playing, which they really have not done all season, with the exception of the Week 1 win against the Giants. Anything can happen. I know confidence can turn very, very quickly, and maybe this is a game that kind of gets them going. I think that if you look at their schedule, and we've been saying that for a few weeks, they barely got past Cleveland. No one thought that the Washington game would go the way that it did. But they've got a chance, but they've got to play a lot better than they have.
Tell Joe we say hello. We'll be watching on Sunday. Thank you, Troy.
Hey, you bet. Thanks, Dan.
All right. Troy Aikman. He'll be calling Vikings-Packers this Sunday on Fox at 1 Eastern with Joe Buck.